we're still gonna have hell of a set right now. Hey man, can I get 2 double doubles? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Jacked and Pilled, and it's just me this time. You guys probably caught me on the best possible day of the week because it's Friday and it's a high day. Now, I do have one other high day throughout the week, which is Monday, but this is the one where I get to have my cheat meal. This is also like the best workout for me out of the week because it's a little bit later in the day. It's 7 p.m. right now, and what that means for me is I've had the whole day to carb up. So I've had my normal meal plan plus a little bit of extra carbohydrates. For me, that's predominantly orange juice. I do like Scooby-Doo fruit snacks and stuff like that. So I'm feeling really good. I've made a good effort to hydrate and all that. I got some carbs soaked up into my system, so this workout's going to be a little bit more energetic. And the plan for today is pretty straightforward. It's a push day, but we got a little bit of a shoulder bias. So my first movement is going to be a machine lateral raise to warm the delts up a little bit. Then I'm going to transition into a heavier shoulder press where my rep range tends to be a little lower, about 5 to 8 reps. And then after that, just some more accessories and then some tricep work, then freaking 40 minutes of cardio and we're getting the hell out of here. And all of this is within the context of being 8 to 9 weeks out from the bodybuilding show coming up, which I believe the date is July 29th. We're not as close as like 2 to 4 weeks out where our energy is totally gone, but energy is not as good as it was now at 8 weeks compared to like 20 or so weeks out, or say day 1 of starting the cut. So I am starting to feel it just a little bit. But you know what? I'm gonna give my generation a good name today, and we're gonna demolish some freaking shoulders. You know, like I mentioned, my generation gets a little bit of a bad name, and I don't think it's always fair. Because for the record, I actually did work a blue-collar job back in the day. Am I storming the beaches of Normandy? No. Am I shooting down at the people storming the beaches of Normandy? Also no. Regardless of that, we're still gonna have hell of a set right now. Cut's been hitting us pretty hard because last few weeks I've basically been stuck here at this weight of 80 pounds for, highest I got was 6 reps, which was last week, which I've rebounded a little bit because I've dipped as low as 4, but we'll freaking see how this one goes today. So goal 6 or more. And I'm never gonna say, oh, well, hopefully I get 6. I don't know if I'll get that. Because you gotta go into this with the mindset of a winner. You know what I'm saying? If you go into it and you have the mindset of, oh, well, I might get 4. I'll see. I'm probably gonna shit the bed on this set. Then you probably will shit the bed on this set if you're not gonna try enough. You know, if you have the mindset that you're gonna lose, you have to convince yourself that you're on PEDs at all times, and that's how you're gonna get through your workouts. That was close. That was one of those sets where if I had a spotter that could like help me finish the rep, I would have gotten it. I was like that close. All right, so we're still stuck at 6 today, which is fine. I'll take it. Training on the cut is kind of just like being on damage control. If workout to workout, you're able to add a rep here and there, which, if you're pushing hard and your nutrition's right, you should be able to up to a point. But, always main focus is just trying to make sure that you're not regressing too much. I feel like a bad mindset people could get into when they're cutting is like accepting the idea of performance regression, progressive underload, right? Losing a rep or so each workout and just being cool with it. And then soon, before you know it, all your strength is gone and you've lost a good amount of muscle tissue. Chances are because you weren't training hard enough to begin with. I definitely would never consider myself to be like a self-conscious kind of guy here. I definitely do have kind of like a confidence window. I feel like I look decent throughout the week, but like from probably 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Fridays, I think is where confidence is at its peak. After being carved up, hitting a little bit of shoulders, and then I was wearing my signature shoulder day cutoff. I can't remember the last time I did a shoulder day and I wasn't wearing this like cutoff shirt, because I tend to a lot of them up, if I'm being honest, and I'll cut them like crooked, but this one turned out just right. As long as I I can remember, arms have been a weak point for me, and it all stems back to 7th grade. I had a guy named Marcus make fun of me because I was top heavy. In his words, he says top heavy. So ever since then, I've been hammering legs pretty hard. And then for a few years after that, in the formative years of like junior high and high school, when it comes to upper body, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of phoned it in. So now I'm kind of paying the price for that, because even though I'm on a calorie deficit, you know, I don't expect to grow too much before the show. We're still trying. You know, you gotta train like you're on the bulk regardless. I don't know if anyone's noticed, almost every time you see me lift now, I'm wearing one of these belts. I'm wearing the dad belt. 40-year-old belt, by the way. This was my dad's back in college. I used to look at older guys, or even like look at my dad and be like, oh, the old man's got his belt on again. But now I kind of get it, because when you're in a cut and your waist is getting smaller and smaller, you do lose the leverage of what they call the power belly, which does kind of come into play on certain compound lifts, or really any lift, where now as a petite victim weight status person, having this to keep my core tight does help, as far as making me feel like I'm not gonna have my intestines burst out of my belly button, which is awesome. What a freaking night it's been. Shoulders is done. It was a really good workout. Did 40 minutes of cardio after. I did get a small donut from Bosa afterwards. Alex said I could still have a cheat meal tonight. He said just don't go crazy. I did also stop at In-N-Out, and I picked up a burger and some fries. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't tear up my fries on my way home, because I wasn't gonna wait. And by the way, I don't know what's up with this In-N-Out slander. I have a client from New Jersey. She just hates In-N-Out. She said everybody hyped it up and she went there and just was not impressed. And I've heard that before. And if I'm being honest, this is my favorite burger joint of all time. They just never miss. I think In-N-Out is legit the greatest. A couple years ago, I took a trip to Ireland for a week, and when I came back, I needed a proper Southwestern American meal, and that was In-N-Out. So when I think of Southwestern American nationalism, I think of a guy saluting the American flag, but then he's also holding a double-double in the other hand. And I mean that. The In-N-Out slander needs to stop, because that's not going to be tolerated by me or anybody else on this channel, okay? Jacked and Pilled official stance is that we support In-N-Out. We are In-N-Out nationalists. I did just spill sauce on my pants, which sucks. Got on my pants and got on my obliques. Worth it though, because this is good. I'm just going to enjoy it, because I know that soon the program's going to change. So Alex started a group thread with me and Jacob this afternoon. He sent us a link to the show to have us register pretty soon, and says, you know what? If you guys are ready, we're going to start pushing a lot harder. He says come next week, there's going to be changes to your meal plan and your training program, which to me is good but bad news. Like, the good news is that coach believes in me. The flip side of that is that now things are going to get way harder, because I thought things were hard as they are. Things are going good right now. I feel pretty satiated. I don't feel hungry and moody or anything like that, because it's been a good carved up day. But every other day throughout the week has been tough. I'll feel decent during my workouts when I'm taking my intra, which is just carbohydrates and amino acids. Anytime after that, I get done lifting somewhere in like the early afternoon. From then till I go to sleep, I'm just dragging ass. Like, I'll be at work walking around just like kind of sluggish. And that's how it is. Like, my shtick on Instagram right now is me making posts complaining about the cut or being hungry or whatever. And I'm getting more experienced bodybuilders commenting, saying stuff like, oh brother, your cheeks aren't even sunken in yet. Like, you're not even that far yet. And you know what? They're right, because it is going to get worse. And I'm well aware of that. Things are going to get tough. So I'm kind of just enjoying the little things like this while I'm still allowed to. I fully expect Alex to shut cheat meals out. I would be lying if I said that nerves aren't kind of starting to kick in. And I know that I'm 8 weeks out. 2 months is still not the same thing as 2 weeks or 2 days, right? It doesn't help. I have people like Matthew who says, dude, I'm just going to be honest, you do not look like you're 8 weeks out. F you, Matthew. Maybe you're right. Maybe Alex, when he says that we're going to start changing meal plan and training, maybe that's mostly directed at me. Maybe he just includes Jacob in that conversation because he doesn't want me to feel like a fat piece of shit. I'm very realistic about the fact that I'm trailing a little bit behind Jacob in terms of fat loss right now. I have faith that Alex is going to dial that in. Being on stage is going to be different. I've never experienced anything like peak week before. I've never had my calories that low. I've never had my body fat percentage anywhere near that low. There's so many questions coming up in my head too, thinking like, how am I going to function at work during peak week? How am I going to function in life during peak week? And to everybody watching at home, if you're just a casual viewer, you're watching because you like fitness content, you find it entertaining, say a prayer for me. And if you're somebody into fitness watching Jacked and Pilled and you're bulking and you're loving your workouts, you're loving life and feeling good, enjoy it while it lasts. And if you're on the same path as I am, you're competing in a show, you're prepping right now, you're shredding down and you're starting to feel it, hang in there, okay? We're in this together and we got this. We've enlisted the help of a local who's helping poor autistic children work out. So thank you, Bryce. I'll bleep your name, dudes.
What can I get started for you?
Hey man, can I get 2 double doubles? There was a period a couple weeks ago where I was starting to notice like a mood change in Jacob, where he seemed a little bit lower energy, tired. He was a little bit less peppy or energetic. And initially there was a part of me that was kind of annoyed by that. I was like, dude, bring your vibe up, you know? Can't let other people notice that your vibe is down. What are you doing? I didn't understand at first until the exact same thing happened to me like now, a couple weeks later. So I get it now. There's a lot of downsides to having your body fat percentage get lower, having your food portions get cut. It's not easy.